Hello everybody, I am Baltmatrix and welcome to the new video review. Today we are taking a look at the MOSA Storm from Quantum Heroes Dinoster. I picked this figure up over at AliExpress. This figure has a robot mode, a kitted out robot mode, which is what we have here, a vehicle mode, and a dinosaur mode, very much like the other Quantum Heroes figures that I have already reviewed. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this in the 360 degree view. But before we do that, here is a size comparison with the other Dino Mecha from Quantum Heroes Dinoster. As you can see, MOSA Storm is a hell of a lot smaller than the other two. Cheaper also. Now for the promised 360 degree view. I do have to complain, finding any information about this accursed series has been very difficult. Even trolling Korean websites, I can't find anything other than a wiki from fandom. This is piloted by the character. The character that pilots this unit is named Trina Yang, I believe, and she looks like a tween version of Jury from Street Fighter 5 and 6. I'm not even making that up. Look for yourself. So I've gone ahead and removed all of the extra accessories from the figure, and I have to admit, it looks really good. The silver, the red, the purple, the black, all work incredibly well, and I love, love, love that head sculpt. And my camera keeps zooming out for some dang reason. But man, that head sculpt is just so nice. That could easily be a Decepticon commander. Like, easily. Just hands down easily. Now, posability. Head does swivel about, can't look up or down. Shoulders are deliciously ratcheted, can move in and out. Then there's no upper arm swivel, unfortunately, but there is ratcheting right there. Torso articulation is also ratcheted, and then the figure can kick forward, can kick back, and can kick all the way, almost all the way out, bend at the knees, and then ankle pivots. So wow, super posable. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, way more posable than the other Dinoster figures. Just really nice. And I forgot there is toe articulation for the transformation. In terms of accessories, it has a tail unit with these red pieces that do disconnect like that are then these fin sword units. A dinosaur head, because it can't store the dino head anywhere else in the robot mode, that can be wielded in its hand, which, if I'm honest, that's really dumb. Why do you have to carry your own alt mode's head around? 2 spinning drill units to be used in any of the modes. And then these 2 fin units, which are extra just kibbles and bits. So we've got this purple bit, this gray bit, and then this clear plastic red-ish bit. Now, I do want to mention the clear plastic on these feel amazing. Like, Hasbro, you really need to take note of this. These are thick. They are not going anywhere. These are not breaking anytime soon, which, thank you. All right, let's get this thing transformed into its ground tank mode. Take the arms and fold the fists up into the forearms, then collapse the forearm into the upper shoulder so that the gap inside the top of the forearm slots over this peg in the actual forearm, or in the actual shoulder. Come to the chest, open it up, fold up the crest on the head, turn the head around 180 degrees, and then unpeg it and fold it up into the chest, and close that up. Then take the backpack and fold it all the way up like that. Take the legs and spread them out just a little bit so we can then snap the leg apart and then fold it up into the thigh. And there is a peg on the inside of the lower leg and a peg hole inside the thigh. So do that on both sides. And just make sure getting out of the way like that. Then what we're going to do is take the entire torso and fold the rear of the vehicle back, and the backpack will then come in and snap into place into that peg. And there are pegs on the back of the backpack, right where my finger is, and the back of the thighs will peg into those sections. Now, just be wary, those come unpeg all the time. Nothing I can do about that. Take the arms and bring them down, and they will peg into place. There is a peg hole at the front of the chest and a peg on the inside of the forearm. So what you do is you just push the arm in like so, and then take these bits and fold them down and back, and then all the way down into the middle of the tank mode. And sometimes it wants to go, but you got to get those flaps out of the way. And lastly, take the toes, fold them up, and then flip the feet inside, and they will peg into place. And then once you're done, it looks like that, and the entire transformation is complete, and we have a really neat little tank mode. I love this tank mode with the treads up in the front and then the full wheels in the back. Overall, it just works really well, and it feels like a Transformer. It really does. Like, it feels more like a Transformer than some Transformers I have. The only complaint I have is there's a big old gap back here, but you know what? It's not that big a deal. I mean, how often are you going to look behind? How often are you going to look in the trunk of a car or of a tank in this case? Yeah, this tank mode really works. The only thing color-wise, these pieces of plastic feel off for some reason. They don't look like the same shade as the other similar pieces, but that just could be my old man eyes not working right. Now, in terms of attack modes, there's really only one that we're going to do, and that is to take the drills and peg them into these pegs on the sides of the front of the tank mode, and then you've got drill tank mode. Yes, that's something that is done in the show that I've seen online with what clips there are, but I don't know how practical that is. Unless they're laser drill bits. That might work, but yeah. It rolls with no problem. There are nice thick wheels on the bottom of the treads, nice thick wheels on the back. Would have loved to have seen them painted, but I don't think they're painted in the show. In fact, the only time that I can remember seeing it in the show was very briefly, but we never have seen, or I have not seen, the actual robot mode yet. I've seen the tank mode, and I've seen the dinosaur mode, which we'll get into now. Now, before we get to the dinosaur mode, I goofed. I missed one thing. There's this little thing you need to flip out and over, and it will peg into the top. That gives it a little bit more color and makes it look a little bit cleaner. And I'm sorry, that was me. I completely forgot about that piece. Now, for the transformation into Dino mode, all we're going to do is take the tank and attach all the accessories to the tank. That's it. So we'll start with these little knife thingies. They will form the rear flippers of the mosasaur, like that. Then we'll take the gigantic tail unit, and that whole thing will get pegged into this set of peg clips in the back. This is the hardest part of getting this transformed, because you have to be very careful, and oh, I'm so thankful I was able to do that without having to struggle with it. But you do have to be careful, because if you push it unevenly into the clips, the entire feet assembly comes apart. The head will then peg into these two peg holes up front, and just getting that pegged in. Oh, and there is a little slot right here, which this black piece will peg into. So we actually want to get that lined up and pushed into place like that. And then we take the two flipper sections, and they will peg in to the front like this. And that is the mosasaur mode. It looks a lot better on the show. It really does. This isn't bad, but it's literally just the tank mode with a bunch of kibble attached. That's it. And the drills also do still work in this mode, so you can add the drills in this mode, like that. That looks real stupid. But I gotta say, I really think the mosasaur mode is the weakness, or the weakest part of the figure. You can open the mouth and close the mouth, which is nice. I kind of wish it transformed a little bit better or was more complex, but oh well. Returning the figure to robot mode is very easy. Oh, before we continue, I do want to show this. Toy Guy, if you are watching, you will be happy to know that it does the thing in both tank and Mosasaur mode. So, yeah, it does the thing. Yay! Okay. To transform it back into tank mode is literally just remove all the kibbles and bits. That's it. And we're back at tank mode. Now, back into robot mode, a little more complicated. So we'll push up these little bits, split the rear of the vehicle mode, flip the feet around and flip out the toes, unhinge or hinge the legs down and snap them into place. Like that. Take the entire torso, first unpeg the backpack, then fold the torso down and stand the figure up. Hinge the backpack down, pull out the shoulders, fold down the arms, and flip out the fists. And there we go. We are back to giant robot mode. Now, you saw at the beginning of this video review that that was the primary super attack mode. Well, there are other options that we have here. So we can flip out this handle on the bottom of the tail and then attach these bits. And this becomes a giant, like, scythe type weapon that can be held. And I put these on backwards because of course I did. Like that. So it can hold the tail as a weapon. And it, as you saw earlier, it can also hold the dino head as a weapon. Or you can take the dino head and just peg the drills into the side of the dino head like that. So you have a drill gun weapon thing along with your scythe. So there is that. You can also attach the drills to the outsides of the forearms like that, and then take the tail and it will peg into the figure's keister right there. So just make sure that the tab is pointing forward and lift up the backpack and peg that in and then fold the backpack down. So you give him a kind of you give him a tail in robot mode. So that is another option. Or you could just start plugging things in everywhere and go ham with it. I really haven't found a thing that makes it look bad, so there is something to be said about that. Unfortunately, the figure does not combine with anything else in the Dinoster toy line so far, which is a shame because I was sure that this thing was going to combine with the others at some point. We'll see. This is the 5th figure in the set, and it's purple, and in classic Japanese toy kids shows, that purple figure starts off as a villain and turns into an ally by the end. So I'm looking at you, Machine Robo Rescue. So I don't know if that's going to happen here. I'm thinking it will, just from the nature of the way the show is. So folks, let me know what you think of MOSA Storm down in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I hope you have a wonderful day.